Action.
It's unbelievable.
It's fantastic.
You know what? Too good.
It makes you want to climb in the car and just take off.
Does anything else need to be said?
A car racing film is not exactly an easy thing to mount.
6 inches away from the wall at 200 miles an hour. That takes a special kind of person.
We could like easily get killed here.
You come here guerrilla style, you blend in, you try to steal your shots while the whole circus is going on around you.
Danger is always there.
Buckle up, it's gonna be a bumpy ride.
What can I say? Another great day in paradise. We both are race car fanatics, and we both had a dream of making a race car movie. We had done a film together, Cliffhanger, and we were great friends. We wanted to make a movie about car racing, and we said, you know, why not do it together? Let's roll.
When you get behind the scenes, who's in the helmet, who are the people, who are the loves, who are the women of their lives?
Weren't you the guy being pulled in too many directions? You better focus and win this thing.
Our goal is really to make a movie that is very truthful to what the open wheel racing is all about.
I got a rookie driver. His name is Jimmy Bly. He's won 5 races. All you gotta do is help this kid.
I think when he can get it together off the track, he'll come together on it.
I've been tuning for about 7 months all around the world, from America and Canada to Japan and Brazil and Australia, using in some of the races up to 18 cameras, helicopters, doing dialogue scenes on the actual pit lane with actors 4 minutes before the race is supposed to start. And we are talking about a racetrack with 200,000 people in the audience, 27 race cars on the pit lane, maybe 3,000 people on the pit lane, and we are there in the middle of it. And these races work like clockwork. When the race starts, it starts, and you gotta get out of the way. There are a few things that happen before the race starts.
Things are very, very tense.
Stop the security, let people live. Stop it. Camera here, let's go. We gotta go. We got to shoot. Cut, let's go again. We have a 24-minute window to shoot all the dialogue. Where are my actors? As much as I can now, but then we can close up so we can do anywhere. We have other cameras that can, round you. Well, we are trying to steal $1 billion worth of production value by having all these teams, all the cars, all the people in the background, and still getting our scenes without interrupting what the car racers are doing.
I thought I could handle it. You will.
Go on this way, over your shoulder. Go get people. Go.
Nobody look in the camera. Do we have the overhead shot?
You can do a little moves into her.
We bumped into Juan Montoya, and he kind of kissed me on my cheek.
Follow us.
And then of course, there was Max Pappas.
Kiss me on my hand.
Yeah, they do a lot of kissing, you know.
Movie star, Max Pappas. The cars are coming in. We got to go. 17,000, take two.
Right.
Somebody's been to the top of the mountain.
Been there.
Stumbled all the way to the top.
Can you cause more chaos than this? Is it possible?
It is possible.
A little bit of breathing room here, folks, okay?
The race starts in exactly 60 seconds, and we are still shooting on the grid lane. It's strange. And cut. Cut. That's it.
Okay, it's time to clear the grid. Gentlemen, start your engine!
Racing is very interesting because from the moment we're born, our life is a struggle of competition through this human race.
Good luck today.
We're drawn towards racing in almost every form.
What are you doing back here, Joe?
To race, for the job requirement, remember? These guys take off every day in basically guided missiles.
They literally
Kip Pardue,
put their lives out there every time they go out on the track. These athletes deal with the fear of death.
fear is never gone. It's just where you place it.
I respond to that a lot.
There's maybe 20 guys in the world that can drive these machines right.
You have to be in an incredible shape.
Till Schweiger, who plays the European champion.
They are great athletes.
I've been in the race. Danger is always there.
We race. We take chances.
I have to live with adrenaline in my life. I was a firefighter for 5 years.
Christian De La Fuente.
I've been a pilot for almost 6 years with the Chilean Air Force. I fly aerobatics.
Action. Lots of cute boys in race car driving suits. Nothing wrong with that.
Cut.
It's fun. I think it's a very sexy sort of sport. I like the outfits, and I got into one of the cars.
You're going to stall a few times. Just get used to that. Don't take it personally. I did. Everyone does. To play my ex-wife.
It's Gina Gershon from the set of Driven, driving. What about me? How do I look? Or do you still hate answering loaded questions?
You love him?
I love a lot of things.
Why'd you have to marry him? Gina Gershon, farewell shot.
Sly said, oh, let's go in the middle where the cars are going around. We're right next to them. I'm like, oh, this is awesome, you know. And one car almost started to spin out, and I see this thing coming right at us.
Rumor has it you were quite the wild man. I play Luke Jones, and I'm a journalist, and I come into this very unique world and just absorb it. It's fun being Sly's main squeeze.
Action.
But I've yet to have a ride in one of the cars. That's why I took the job. Yes, this is what I drive in.
You're having a bad season and you're throwing me out of your life?
Yeah, it's my first studio movie. It was incredible. I walked into the interview with Rennie, and I didn't know Sly was going to be there, and I kind of walked in, and I'm like, oh my God, there's Sylvester Stallone.
So Stella came in, and she was a little tentative at first, and she had just been on the cover of every magazine, but
Sly asked me to do this one scene, the breakup scene.
But Rennie goes, this girl really has great, great potential.
He's like, I think you can get a little bit louder. And so I just started like screaming and like going crazy.
And we were all like taken aback about how energetic she can be and uninhibited. I said, we got to something natural.
I'm not looking to get involved. I'm not over him.
I understand that, Sophia. I'm just looking for a friend.
You sure?
Yeah, I think so.
That's Bert coming now in a helicopter. Hey, Bert, always trying to make an entrance, I'll tell you.
Sly and I had talked about doing a film together.
Burt Reynolds is such a vital guy, and he's so energetic.
Action.
You had everything. Everything. And you threw it away until you had nothing left. And I had to sit there and watch the slowest man in the fastest sport.
It was a very important scene for Sly because not very many people make Sly cry. It wasn't me, but it was the circumstances that we were in. What Sly did was make 15 stories. So you're interested in all these characters.
And camera can also sit down.
Camera can kneel down.
I'm trying to give the audience the experience of what it is like to be in the cockpit of a car like this, going 240 miles an hour on the track. By using digital technology, we can really put the audience there in the driver's seat, and whether it's a racing sequence or a crash sequence.
Then I flip in the air and go through those trees over there and get in the water and survive finally.
Action! Some of our main characters rush into the water. They try to flip the car over. They can't, but they're able to lift it up enough so that the driver can get some air. They realize he's alive. They get some more help.
Action, fly.
Finally turning the car over, they drag him out of the car, pull him out of the water, and of course, right when they are doing that, one of the burning trees falls into the river,
Fireball now.
which is now filled in gasoline. The whole river catches on fire. The fire spreads into the car, and usually when cars catch on fire, they blow up.
Who wrote this stupid scene?
I liked getting the script, and it said written by Sylvester Stallone.
I'm doing a quick rewrite.
See, they have...
Sly does not arrive in time.
It's the ultimate, because you have the screenwriter on the set all the time.
And me without any shampoo.
Almost this close to being real, like.
But when you were under?
Yeah, it was like, what's going on? Like, hey. I was like, hey! Hey!
I'm trying to dive in 6 inches of water.
We are doing this because we want to entertain you.
Can I feel much in your lungs?
No.
A little bit.
Every kid, when we grew up, we dream about being a race driver. I never dream about being inside the river upside down, but okay.
Spectacular.
Final comment. How'd it go?
Great.
We're in a prototype party right now.
The new models of the race cars are being launched for the next year.
It's champagne and caviar all around.
This class of racing is very glamorous.
Action.
You know, for a great driver, you have the worst time.
This is the scene where Bo asks for me back, which is what I've been wanting the entire movie.
I don't want to spend any more time away from you.
I miss you too. The relationships that are the basis of the movie, and it's just amazing that we get to see so much action at the same time.
Like saying,
Remember the original line was, I know somebody who wants to marry you? Kind of like that.
129 Foxy, take one. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark?
Just make sure the camera can see you.
Sophia, please, just let me explain something.
Hey, there is no need to explain anything.
At this party, certain dramatic elements of the story reach their climax, and as a result, Jimmy
You just feel the steering wheel shaking and feel your legs shaking. It's intense.
ends up stealing one of the prototype cars and taking it to the streets of Chicago. It's just the pressures of the racing and the celebrity and all added things in his relationships. The only way to catch a race car is with another race car. So Joel, Stallone's character, takes another race car to hopefully stop Jimmy before he hurts himself or anybody else. As a result, we have a big chase sequence in the middle of normal nighttime street traffic with race cars going up to 200 miles an hour. This was an opportunity for me to make a movie about something that I know a lot about, that I've followed all my life, that I love.
He's the only director, though, that has actually driven into a scene inside a house.
Action. Cut.
You asked Sly about that first, and then you let me know what he said. I was mortified. You all right?
I don't think it's going to be in the movie, but thanks anyway for asking.
We'll be showing the footage on.
I don't think so.
The visual effects on this movie are pretty huge. There's as many shots as you would expect to find in like a sci-fi aliens attacking the Earth kind of a movie. There's a lot of shots that you see in the movie that the average person or even an effects person wouldn't know would be an effect.
The method that we're using is we're going to Detroit to say we filmed the Detroit Grand Prix. We go to Chicago, we film the Chicago Grand Prix. So what we filmed with the 12 and 13 cameras that we're shooting these races with doesn't necessarily match the action that we have scripted for our actors and for our story. So what we then need to do is to go back, look at the footage we shot, then add in computer-generated cars to match what our actors need to do.
Back to full speed, flying in pursuit of Brandenburg. He's right there. He tries him at every corner.
What we get by doing that is the production value of shooting the Chicago Grand Prix with hundreds of thousands of people and all the cars, but then we get the story points that we need by putting computer-generated cars on the track.
A lot of the elements we'd mix, like the car might be real, but a tire flying off of it might be created digitally.
We're doing a rain race, we have to add rain. Crashes we need to augment.
A lot of times there'd be wires and cameras all over the shot when they shot it, and then we would have to go in and take all those out, create like a new background that doesn't have that in it, and then put the car back over it.
My first meeting with Rennie, we both had the idea that we wanted to do visual effects that had never been done before.
I'm really hoping to blow the audience away in terms of the experience. By using digital technology, we can really put the audience there in the driver's seat, and whether it's a racing sequence or a crash sequence, I want the audience to get that idea of what it really is like and use all the tricks that are available now in a different way than ever before.
The pit fire shot, the famous pit fire shot. We probably spent about 2 months working on this shot.
It's a very difficult and adventurous kind of a shot. A lot of shots in a lot of movies never get seen. That's just the reality of production. But at least on this one, we're lucky enough to have it added on the DVD. It was supposed to fall in the movie in a sequence that's kind of a pit stop montage where you had a lot of shots of like cars being fueled up, tires being changed, in the middle of like the final race where everybody's trying to go as fast as possible, and all of a sudden this car catches on fire and there's this huge gas cloud explosion, and we do this camera move that sort of moves around the car as the explosion grows in super slow-mo. What they did was they set up 13 motion picture cameras around the subject. So you'd have a little over a semicircle of cameras pointing at the car while it exploded. If you just align the 13 different cameras and play them one after the other, it would jump 30 degrees in space. It wouldn't create a smooth move. So we've decided that the best way to create the smoothness was to create virtual camera frames in between the 13 actual frames. So we took the A camera and the B camera, and then we did a morph from A to B so that the perspective shifts smoothly from one camera angle to the next.
We had like 7 frame morphs between each of the cameras. So the first frame and the end frame of those 7 frames would be true, real frames that came out of the cameras, and then the 5 frames in between would be virtual cameras or views that were invented by the process of morphing. Most simply, a morph is a transition from one image to another. The first morphs that I remember seeing were like in the Michael Jackson video and some of those videos where you morphed from one face to another, and it was a smooth, continuous transition where all of a sudden it's someone's different face. In this case, we were using the morphing of transitioning from one camera angle to another camera angle, and a nice smooth transition from one to the other. Here's camera J, and now here is camera K. And you can see there's quite a bit of difference between these 2 angles, and what our goal is to make a series of in-between steps that correspond to the views that would be between those 2 cameras. So the first task that we do is we go through frame by frame and we outline every important element that we want to morph from one to the other. The blue outline is the B-roll, the destination, and the red outline is the A-roll, or the source. The resultant morph is this character that's just right in between. Here we're actually showing both of the images superimposed over each other. So you can see here is the helmet for the one guy on the B-roll and the same helmet on the A-roll, and they're in a different place. And we tie those together with correspondence points. We look for landmarks on each shape and connect them to the same landmarks on the shape on the B-roll. It's called joining. We join the shapes together. And then we're pretty much ready to go. We set a few controls as far as how we want to exercise the morph.
A shot like this has, probably 50 to 100 different elements that all go together to make the one shot you see on the screen. This car here was just a dummy car that was built for this effect, so they could set it on fire multiple times and not actually destroy the car. Because we used this dummy car, we had to create a real car in CG. This is the computer-generated car that was created to replace the dummy car in the explosion pass. It's very smooth, and they were able to recreate the textures and the reflections of all the surfaces, and we used the actual car to get all the graphics and the details off of it. We had more elements to add that were shot separately, so we had lots and lots of different pieces of film that we had to put together to make this shot. I probably have over 100 gigabytes of information of different passes and different pieces. Every night for the past month, we've had almost all the computers in the room crunching away on making elements for the shot.
We really had a sense that we were doing something new during the whole time of doing this. I feel very lucky that I got to be involved with it. There's something weird and magical about it, just seeing something that you could not see any other way.
So 2 months of work for about 9 seconds of film time.
We're doing camera testing today, and things seem to be working out really good.
We're mounting a row vision camera, which is a gyroscope 2C camera. It can rotate 360 degrees. You can start on Stallone and you think one of the actors and you think that you're on a close-up. All of a sudden the camera pans around and you're in the race. And it's a fairly new device that's never been really used on a race car before.
That camera is filming something that's never been filmed before. Race cars racing at 150 miles an hour, shooting each other. I think we're going to get some very, very amazing shots on this, and we're keeping our fingers crossed that the vibration at 150 miles an hour won't affect the rig that we've got on there.
If you take it a step further, what we're going to do is take some of these sequences that involve car crashes and do them like you've never seen them before. Once we started to come up with the ideas of how to do some of these crashes, I realized it's never been done before. So it involved another level of figuring out how to pull this stuff off.
I think one of the most successful sequences for me is the Max Pappas crash.
Head on into that car. Max Pappas is airborne.
We shot a special effects shot of towing one car into another. It hits the front of the car and launches. And it launched actually quite a bit further than we thought it would, but it looked pretty spectacular. Initially, we were just going to add rain to the shots and put a little grandstand in. But as we got into it, it became, I think, more interesting to see more people. So it turned out that that whole sequence, which I think is about 12 to 15 shots, were all worked on in some way. We basically added a big sea of people behind the car as it's crashed from all the different angles. As we were working editorially, it was always thought that it'd be nice to have the driver's POV that's about to crash. And it was something we didn't shoot, so we went in and created that digitally and took one background we had and just added a CG car, the driver's POV going right to it. That was another thing that added a lot of life to it because you really sort of got what the driver's experience. I think the total number of shots we actually did for the movie were 690.
I worked 15-hour days, 7 days a week, including one shift that was 36 hours long.
Every step of the way was kind of an exciting new breakthrough.
It was a good experience, and we were able to pull it off.
I don't want to fight you. I don't want to go away.
How do you feel about this scene, dramatically?
Why'd you take the car?
I don't need anyone else pushing on
What?
I don't want to say anything, but shouldn't they move?
Left me.
And that's life on the fast lane.